First at 4, they call him the man with the ideas. The ringleader in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer learns how long he'll spend in federal prison. Plus, thousands of Southwest flights already canceled for tomorrow as travelers scramble and baggage just sits there. Now Southwest is saying it's sorry as other airlines try to make up for the mess. Brett?
And don't panic, but there is some sunshine right now. Soak it up while you can because we'll be soaking up a lot of rain to end the year. More on the timing of that right now, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Pamela Osborne in for Karen Drew. First at 4, the ringleader of the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer will spend nearly 2 decades in prison. Barry Croft was a Delaware trucker described by the judge today as the idea guy in the plot. He was sentenced to 19 years in federal prison. Prosecutors say his plan called for riots, torching government officials, and setting off violence across the country. His sentence comes one day after his co-leader, Adam Fox, was sentenced to 16 years in prison. An update now to a viral video that had a lot of people pretty concerned. Police have identified the man and woman in this video. Surveillance cameras captured a 32-year-old man slam the woman up against a van and force her into it on Christmas night. It happened in an alley near 8 Mile in Gratiot. Police say the two know each other. He is in custody and she is being interviewed by police.
It was an argument between the two. There was some alcohol involved, we believe, holiday party, and like I said, they've had a multi-year relationship.
Police say the woman has minor injuries to her face. They are looking into charges right now. Coming up new on the news at 6, what officers spotted in this video that helped them find the people involved. Today marks 4 years since Novi's Paul Whelan was detained in Russia. This morning, the Biden administration reiterating its pledge to bring Paul home, saying his release remains a top priority. Whelan is serving a 16-year prison sentence on spying accusations. U.S. officials have declared him wrongfully detained. The administration was hoping to include Whelan in the prisoner swap that freed Brittany Griner, but say Russia would not go for it. Meanwhile, Whelan's brother today said he is grateful for the government's effort, but says things have not gotten any easier. David Whelan writes, quote, "It is both accumulation of lost life, 4 years of missed birthdays, Christmases, and other experiences, and also not an end point. It's merely a marker of their suffering, not an indicator that the suffering will come to an end before another milestone, another year passes." Our forewarned meteorologist promised a warm-up, and here it is. Temperatures are headed up slightly through the week. Brett Collar is here in for Kim to track the changes. Brett?
Yeah, evidence here on the Detroit River. It was ice-covered the past couple of days. Now lots of open water with just a couple of sheets of ice still out there. But the culprit here, why temps are going up so quickly and so much, strong southerly winds. Right now, they're sustained between about 10 and 15 miles per hour, and that's gotten us into the low 40s. We're going to do even better, though, tomorrow, and then again on Friday. The trade-off, though, increased chance for rain. Just some clouds right now and for the rest of this evening, but tonight it's quiet. If you're going down to LCA to see the Pistons, it's going to be dry. Temps don't move a whole lot. Overnight lows, we generally see numbers drop, but with that southerly wind, we're going to stay fairly steady. But again, more rain is set to return. We'll talk about the timing here in just a bit. In the meantime, make sure that you have the Forewarned Weather app. As that rain approaches, you can track it, and that will continue throughout the weekend as well. It's in your app store. Just search WDIV Weather.
We have breaking news to tell you about. The U.S. announces new COVID testing requirements for travelers from China. This is in response to China's recent rollback of strict virus controls and a surge in new cases there. Beginning January 5th, all travelers to the U.S. from China, will be required to show a negative COVID test before boarding a flight. Other countries have taken similar steps. And many families hoping to catch a Southwest flight after days of cancellations and lost luggage. are left stranded again today at airports across the country. Southwest Airlines canceled 2,500 flights today and has already scrubbed 2,300 flights for tomorrow. Kimberly Gill is in the newsroom with Southwest's attempt to fix these problems and what other airlines are doing to help passengers. Kimberly?
Pamela, good afternoon. Southwest has canceled nearly 10,000 flights since the weekend winter storm and is canceling more, or warning that they will be canceling more as the week progresses. Passengers are frustrated and trying to find alternate ways to get to their destinations, just like this woman who took a bus from New York City to Houston.
I was there from 12, left at 12. I'm still stranded. I need to drive 9 more hours. My feet are swollen. I'm upset. I'm stressed. I'm tired.
Oh my goodness. Well, baggage too, take a look, is piling up at airports as flights are canceled. This is video from Chicago's Midway Airport, which is a big hub for Southwest. There's now a rush on rental cars too at many airports, and people are turning to buses and trains. Other airlines are taking steps to help passengers get home. American is placing price caps on some flights so travelers aren't charged thousands of dollars for booking last minute. Southwest's CEO says he's sorry for the mess, blaming it on the weather, aggressive flight scheduling, and outdated systems.
Here's why this giant puzzle is taking us several days to solve. Southwest is the largest carrier in the country, not only because of our value and our values, but because we build our flight schedule around communities, not hubs. With our large fleet of airplanes and flight crews out of position in dozens of locations, and after days of trying to operate as much of our full schedule across the busy holiday weekend, we reached a decision point to significantly reduce our flying to catch up.
CEO couldn't give an indication of when passengers would be rebooked. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says his department is investigating and is prepared to issue fines if the airline doesn't meet legal obligations to passengers. We have a crew at Metro Airport today, and we'll bring you a live report on the impact here. That is coming up on the news at 5. For now, Pamela, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Kimberly, we'll be looking forward to that report. Thank you. Now to the Vatican as we take a live look at St. Peter's Basilica. Pope Francis asking for prayers for former Pope Benedict, saying he's very sick. Pope Benedict resigned in 2013, saying he no longer had the physical and mental strength to run the church. He was the first pontiff in 600 years to step down. The Vatican says the former pope's condition has worsened in the last few hours because of his age, but they didn't give any specifics. The Vatican says Pope Benedict is constantly being monitored by doctors. All week, we are looking back at our favorite stories of the year. The Woodward Dream Cruise brings plenty of classic cars back on the road every year. But did you ever wonder who keeps those cars running? Our Paula Tutman found a teenager who's carrying on a family tradition that preserves some of the Motor City's most beautiful past. It's a story for car lovers and a family connection that might give you goosebumps when you think about it.
Without question, the future of the automobile industry is upon us. Some beauty under this hood. Which begs the question, if we're a state that brags about being at the center of the automobile universe and we're micro-focused on the future, well, who's got their eye on the past?
This used to be an engine for a 1928 Packard.
The people who work on our beloved classic cars have become classics themselves. The machinery of those old Studebakers, Plymouths, and yes, Packards. Those beauties that grace the Dream Cruise that have outlasted the car companies themselves are a vanishing breed. And without youngsters breathing air into the dying art and ability to fix old cars, the inevitable is inevitable.
They'll become just museum pieces.
Not the quietest thing. It should be done in a second.
Meet Ethan Jackson, an 18-year-old third-generation mechanic who fixes historic relics at the Packard Proving Grounds in Shelby Township. But he's not just some teenager working on old cars. He's the embodiment of a new breed, hatched from the likes of dinosaurs.
Do you know if we have any rebuild kits?
Old cars are etched into his very DNA. He understands and loves what cars were. And so on his way to studying to become an attorney, he's picked up the mantle of his great-grandfather, Raymond Duda, one of the original mechanics for the Packard brand.
His hands might have touched one of these cars going down the assembly line. He may have worked on designing this engine or something that I'm looking at right now. My great-grandfather, who I never met, could have worked on many, many years ago.
There aren't very many of us left that are interested in it. And I'm from another generation, a couple generations ago, but you know, there is a hardcore of us that do it, and we're just thrilled to have Ethan.
If we don't get into it, and if more people don't learn it, and more people don't get involved, then you're not going to see them on the road anymore. They're going to end up in garages and forgotten about. And these beautiful works of art that we're going to see at car shows at Woodward coming up, they won't be around.
Happy holiday season, everyone. Don't you just love when young people are engaged? The reason we really love this story is because it really showed how younger people and older people can really come together. And you know how Michiganders love their classic cars. You know, there are some people who might say this young man, Ethan, was born, you know, way after his time. But I would say for those of us who really love classic cars, he was born right on time, because we really need mechanics like that. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Paula. Tomorrow, Paula takes us on a trip to a world-famous bridge that's right here in Michigan. Don't look down if you're afraid of heights, though. Check out the fall colors and the amazing views there. Plus, Paula takes you behind the scene, talking about what it took to get the story done. That is tomorrow at 4. A Help Me Hank alert for students at one Michigan college, the data breach that exposed personal information like social security numbers, and what the Attorney General now is saying that students should do. Plus, the app that millions have on their phones right now that was just banned by the U.S. House of Representatives over serious security concerns. But first, people in Buffalo, New York are using armored cars and snowmobiles to make life-saving rescues after a devastating storm. We'll take you inside next.